Yeah,
That
well,
works pretty well.
the point I have is, like, if there's room for 6 of them, then there's 2 of them will be sitting up really tall normally, so then you've got wasted space, so that annoys me. So
Yeah, you have to. We spent 8 days of him MacGyvering everything around us. It was hilarious. He didn't like the way something
You know
was
what to
working.
look
He'd
for,
come up
Hamish?
with a different way. It was hilarious.
what's that, Steve?
Look for the old ice cream freezers from service
Yeah.
stations.
Oh
and
yeah, that would
stores.
be good.
Yeah, those
Ooh.
are meant to fit buckets.
12, 15 kegs.
Now you know
Yeah,
what what would
I've
work.
been looking at them. They're beautiful.
You know what would work good too is ice machines, the big ones that hold bags of ice at the store.
We don't do ice machine. Oh, the ones at the shop. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the ones that
Yeah.
where you pick
Yeah.
up where you
Yeah.
go to pick up your ice for your cooler, and they're giant double door jobs that you could. I don't know. I'm mentally looking at the one in my store down the road and thinking, I bet I could get 5, maybe 6 carboys in that puppy.
Oh, you'd get more than that in the ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah, well-
I'd need to set up some conveyor system to get the size tanks in there that I'd want.
Yeah, well, these are just the little personal, the ones that are just at the store for like, regular people consumption,
Yeah.
not like giant tractor trailer ice machine things.
Yeah, I distinctly remember thinking that this was a cheap hobby to get started in.
Oh yeah, no, it is a money pit. It's
It
worse
is.
than a boat. It's
It's
worse
really
than a
cheap
boat,
to get
dude.
started.
Yeah.
To
No.
do your first JAO, sure, you get a jug, you get some honey
we
from
hook you that
Aldi,
way.
you get an
Yeah.
orange, and you're good.
No, we hook you that way.
That's your
and
gateway
see,
drug.
it's what you will find is that there is a solemn pact amongst existing mead makers to never let the newbies know just how unbelievably expensive this hobby is, because then nobody would ever join. They'd be like, "You
No, we
want
do
how
tell them,
much?"
but not at first.
Yeah, no, it's insidious. It's like any other drug, At first, it's
What are
just
your first?
I can
What are
quit
the
making
things you
mead.
need to get by? Well, though, okay, now you've got all of those. Now, what makes life a lot nicer? Okay, and now what can you not live without now that you've tried one?
Well, and now you want to ship, 5 gallons of orange blossom honey from the other end of the continent, and then you look and you want how much for shipping? Oh my God! Okay, well, just go ahead and send it to me because I really need to have this stuff, and it's just
And then you meet people like Hamish who hook you on the good stuff and show you how to detect faults in the bad stuff. He brought along, as Hamish admitted to you, he brought along to this wine guild to both of them. I told you I would get this story in somehow. He was trying to display what Brett tastes like. So he
Not
brought
Brett,
this bottle.
mouthiness.
Oh, God, I can't. It's like I can't
Because-
drink JO anymore.
In JO, mousiness is a really common thing, and I'm very susceptible to it, and so is Anne. And when she first showed me her
Apparently
JO,
so.
I tasted it and I went, okay, I don't want to be rude, but I just want to let you know this. And she's going, is that what it is? And I went, oh my God, you're one of these people who can taste it
now
too.
you can taste it, yeah.
But the other night
He
at
brings
the
along this
wine,
bottle.
And he's
I
ruined it
didn't
for you
bring it.
forever. Now you have to make other meads,
Go on.
Anne.
I didn't bring it. I just made a show of it. There was the president of our wine guild had made a piment, I believe, that had been pinged rather heavily for mousiness that was clearly a Brett infection, and I made everybody taste it.
You made us put it on our wrists and rub it in.
Ew, did he really?
Yeah, to get the scent to come out.
You weirdo.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
I said, if you can't smell it, rub it on your wrist. It'll really you'll see it then.
That's
And there
how
are
they
people
also
there who
get you
couldn't
to
get it.
taste the metallic things, the metallic faults.
Well,
Put it on your wrist and
interestingly,
the back of your hand.
yeah, but somebody piped up that they tasted corn chips in amongst the mousiness, which I think is a really good description actually of
It
that
is, yeah.
that wet, nasty mouse with corn chips.
With
No, I
a
can,
mouse
I can
with corn
understand that
chips.
because a mouse. I have smelled actual, honest to God, mouse, and it does kind of smell a little bit like stale corn chips.
Yeah.
So Fritos in your mead then bad.
Bad plan.
Yeah.
So anybody out there
Corn chips, very
listening,
versatile.
if
Keep them out of your mead.
if you take a drink of your mead and you think, wow, Fritos, I need some Fritos, you probably want to go back and taste that mead again And especially if they're stale Fritos. Stale Fritos are bad. Yeah, he's been on about that mousiness ever since. That it was fun watching that happen. Just he came away from the Mazer Cup with all of these new and interesting commentaries, outlooks, and ideas and opinions from different perspectives, and it was really neat. Yeah,
that really was good. I mean, it took me 2 years to discover what mousiness was. I could taste it in my own JOs. I knew it was there. It was horrible. Well, it wasn't horrible, but it was a distinct negative that so many people couldn't taste and couldn't tell me what it was. And it took literally 2 years for me to nail down a judge who still said it was fine until I pushed him. And he did the wrist test and went, oh, that's mousiness. I went to the Mazer Cup, and inside of 4 days, I've got so much more than I could have possibly hoped to have learned in that 2 years of actively chasing down people who knew how to taste stuff. So, yeah, it was an amazing experience.
I still feel like I need to bring a lot of my really bad stuff to someone who knows what they're tasting and say, what did I do wrong?
Put a bunch of it into smaller bottles that are easily packed and bring it out next year.
It just seems like such a mean thing to do to someone, though. It's like, tell me how bad this is and why.
No, some people like that. They're like, yeah, I can help you with that.
If you do that,
it's only mean if you don't tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to give it to Pete, and you got to have me sitting there tasting it at the same time. That's my
absolutely. There was one during the tasting, which I will not mention what it was. That a couple of people were like, "You got to try this. It's really different." So I did, and I scurried over to Pete and said, "Okay, what do you taste in this?" And he told me, and it was a good thing because whatever they did to it, I've done that too, and I wanted to know what it was.
I need to see if I can somehow lure Pete into the AMMA conference next year to do an even more, maybe two. So he does his two different sensory evaluation classes, because the one that he does on Thursday is kind of geared towards prep for the Mazer Cup, but this one could be too. But I would love to delve into, particular off notes and things like that.
Yeah,
I think that might be fun.
A negative sensory calibration would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. This is what the bad things taste like. The fun part's going to be finding the meads that have the bad things, and then
fault tasting.
Yeah, a fault tasting, exactly.
Yeah.
But then anonymizing the meads so that he can say, okay, here are the things that are going on here. This is what you're tasting, and this is what it's called, and here's why it's a fault, and what you can do to correct it when it happens, if it's possible to correct it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I can differentiate between what Hamish calls mousiness and what other people have described as the cardboard from oxidation. I'm not sure I can tell the difference between that. So, having somebody put something in front of me where one of them is quite obvious and the other is quite obvious and they are distinctly different from each other might actually help me, educate my palate.
All right, I'm going to put out...
having this bottle in front of me is unmistakable. After having had it on our wrist and got rid of it, I was smelling it from the kitchen. I couldn't unforget it.
That's a downside of learning
really
that.
Lesson.
Sometimes ignorance is better because you can just enjoy it. You're like, no, but I really liked this before you told me that.
No,
she sent me a text that night saying, "You've made me have a bath."
Oh God, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I've had I've learned things about certain flavors over the years, and it's like now I can't enjoy that anymore. I used to like that. I thought it was good. Now I know it's bad, so I can't drink it anymore because I know it's bad. It's like you should have left me in my ignorance. It was easier.
Yeah, but a little bit of Brett, which is bad, is good. So it doesn't mean you can't enjoy it as long as you know what's causing it. And if it's adding a positive edge or a positive note to it, then that's fine. I mean, Brett is 100% canned. You'll lose points for it in every wine competition in the country here. But there's a lot of winemakers in France who say a bit of Brett in my wine is a good thing. I do it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, and there's
the same thing I've done with oxidation.
There's commercial meads being made where they're deliberately introducing Brett because that's what they're trying to do. That's the style. They're creating a style, basically. And, and then there's, we had Golden Coast sours. Now, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whenever it was before Frank started making them, people would have been like, no. And now people are like, ooh, interesting. So a lot of that, I think, is to a certain extent perception,
Yeah.
Yeah, we found the same. Our new one is a kettle soured braggot. So using a lactobacillus strain to sour the wort before making it into the braggot. It really sort of brings in that sweet and sour sort of notes.
I think that's what Frank's doing too. I've actually got a set of his how they made the sours notes that they put together that I have to put up on the Gotmead wiki, and I just haven't had the opportunity. I have to pull in more people to help with that.
Does it still taste like malt, Steve, or am I going to be able to drink it?
Whether you can drink it or not.
Mister, I won't touch malt. Philistine.
It's dominated by the grapefruit from the Citra hops we use, which also plays into the sourness. So it's not malt dominated, it's more Citra, sour, macadamia, honey sort of
right.
things.
Worth tasting. All right, no worries. I'll give that one a go.
Yeah, I'm actually brewing that this afternoon, or getting it on to get ready to sour.
So we're not allowed to keep Steve's late Vicky. He's still got to make mead while the sun shines.
Yeah.
That's all right. Oh, he's got time to talk. It's one of those things. Can I put a plug in for Australian mead makers?
Totally. Yeah, please do.
Okay. Well, there's two sides to it. There's the Australian Mead Makers Facebook group, which is for anyone who likes making mead. Jump on. It's a good little community. There's about over 500 of us now. Great for people who are learning to make mead, who need answers or who want to share with other people. And the other side of that is we're forming an Australian Mead Makers Association, which is for the professional guys or those looking to go professional, just to give them some more specific answers and resources with the councils and governments and licenses we've got here. So that's in the pipeline. So if there's guys out there who run a professional meadery, if they want to drop me an email at info@stonedog.com.au, we can get you hooked into that system.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to go ahead and I'll put if you want to just drop me a quick text or email with the link or links for. I've got the Australian Mead Makers group because I'm in it, but I'll put whatever links you might have up on the show page as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that people can get it whenever.
Cool. Yeah, we've still got our website being built for that one at the moment. So,
okay.
But it's still out there. There's like a mailing group we use.
I've been hinting to Vicky that this has been coming for a while. She's been a little bit excited, and it's good to have an official word finally.
Yeah.
It's it's slowly with that at the moment because we're still trying to work out what's going to work best for us with it, and actually have the time to do it because there's a few involved. So there's myself and Joel over at Hunter and the Harp and Sean over in Erosion are the backbone behind it. Just trying to get it there and get a base thing set up for the rest of us. So,
okay.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. And it's something I'm sure that's needed for the noobs that are coming in that may not know the ropes, and how to get, from A to B and get their doors open. I know it's not quite as convoluted and ridiculous over there as it is here, but still, it's also not easy.
No, there's a lot of hoops still to jump through because you've got to go not only